Impact segment tonight, the Hume Zone. Let's bring in Fox News senior political analyst Brit Hume, joins us from Washington. So you heard my talking points memo, and I'm worried. I'm worried about the country. Am I overreacting because of the minority vote in the Supreme Court today?
One observation, Bill. I heard you tell Megyn Kelly that she's more attractive than you are in some senses. That's not true, Bill. She's more attractive than you are in every sense.
Every sense. I knew it. I knew that you just couldn't wait.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
All right.
On the talking points memo, look, what you're pointing out is the reason why the Democrats and the left are so terribly worried about this election for control of the Senate. Because it will mean that if the president does get to appoint another justice of the Supreme Court, he won't be able to get through somebody as much to the left as he would like, and he will have to have somebody that would be acceptable to Republicans in the Senate. And the left is terribly afraid of that because they have depended on the courts being willing to either uphold measures that they like Obamacare, or to create, in the eyes of conservatives, out of whole cloth, rights and law that didn't exist before that's to their liking as well. So that's why this is going to be such a battle this fall.
In your opinion, is the American left hell-bent on restricting personal freedom in this country?
Well, they would never look at it that way.
What to do?
That's not, well, I think that might be the effect of it, and you've made a pretty good case for that. This is how they look at it, though. What they see as freedom is the freedom of a woman to go about her sexual activities as she pleases and to be protected from the consequences of that, or the possible consequences of it, by having free birth control, and even in some cases free birth control after pregnancy may have started. That's their idea of freedom. So it depends on whose idea of freedom you're talking about. Now, I don't happen to agree with theirs.
Wait. I mean, look, it's not freedom to demand that someone else pay for your life. All right? Sandra Fluke wants you and me to pay for her birth control mechanism. She thinks that's her right. All right? That's not freedom. That's an imposition on my freedom of conscience. I don't want to pay for her birth control.
I happen personally to agree with that. I'm just trying to illustrate.
No, but I'm talking about the real world now. I'm not talking about ideology. In the real world, let me reshape it for you. In the real world, all right, I see President Obama and his acolytes on the left taking my freedom to protect myself, to use my tax money morally in a way that doesn't go against my religious conscience, and in a variety of other ways, impugning, taking my freedom away. All right? That's how I see it.
Yeah, I see that. That's how I feel about it personally. But I'm just saying that there's an argument made on the left. I don't agree with the argument that says that, look, remember Franklin Roosevelt, the Four Freedoms speech he made all those years ago? One of them was freedom from want. Well, you don't get freedom from want if you're desperately poor and you have no way of supporting yourself unless somebody else provides it. But some people believe that that is a basic freedom that we should have. Now, I don't think was what the framers of the Constitution had in mind, but that is how liberal interpretations of the Constitution come about for the purposes of establishing these rights that are sort of modern rights that might not have been thought of at the time but should in today's context. That's how they do it.
All right. And the Supreme Court justices on the left feel that the Constitution is evolving, therefore they don't have to go back to the intent. They can rule politically on whatever they want.
Well, you could say rule politically. They would argue that it's ruling legally, but what they're saying is they're interpreting the Constitution in light of the modern world. That is how they do it. That's how it works.
Then it means the Constitution as written doesn't really mean anything anymore.
Well, it means it's a living document that lives and evolves, is what, and they're the ones that do the evolving.
Yeah. All right, Brit Hume, everybody, directly ahead. President Obama says he'll go for it alone to reform illegal immigration. Sounds kind of ominous. We'll take a look at it. Later, Waters getting tossed out of the Now Convention. What did our man Jesse do? Those reports after these messages.